I've never really been into guns. They're a lot of fun, and the skill of aiming for precision headshots or blowing limbs off in dead space can be very satisfying, but I've never really fell in love with them. They're more of a simple tool for getting a job done, and between games they seem to all fill very similar roles. Shotguns are awesome, but pistols, machine guns and snipers seem to blend into each other between games. You just point them and shoot them. The skill is in the pointing, and there's usually very little in the way of options for how you actually use your gun. Even in great games with gun customization like Metal Gear Solid 5 or insane guns like Borderlands, it still feels like there's not a connection between me and my choice of weapon. Personally, I think one of the most important aspects of any game is player expression. If I'm not being given dynamic choices in a game to express who I am and how I want to play, then I tend to not have a lot of fun. Even in linear games, I want to be able to approach situations in my own way, and seeing as though most games are about killing shit, being given a weapon with a lot of options is very important to me. I'm sure there are exceptions to this, but with guns these options are almost always just point and shoot. You're going to do varying amounts of damage with varying range and accuracy, but let's be real, they all kind of feel the same. You're pressing L2 and then R2 until something dies. It can be a lot of fun, but so many weapons just blend into one. The only time I really feel like I have a memorable experience with guns is in survival horror games where ammo is so limited, you're forced to think about which gun you need for each situation you encounter. Now melee weapons are by no means created equal. There are so many games, even ones that focus on melee combat, where the fighting is just awful. Hammering one button over and over again is, if anything, far worse than shooting games. There's hardly any aiming skill involved, and you don't even get to press L2. It feels fucking terrible to get a brand new weapon in a game, just to have it be the exact same weapon as every other one in the game, but with slightly better stats. Like, what is even the point in this? But a lot of the time, melee weapons are just fucking amazing. For me, they provide some of my favourite experiences in games, and offer up everything I've ever wanted from a game. When you have a combat system that rewards skill and each weapon has unique strengths and weaknesses, and each button does a different kind of attack that can combo into every other attack in a different way, you've just created a massive source of player creativity and freedom. Even if I'm playing a totally linear story, if I can choose what weapon to use and it feels unique and I can use it in fun and exciting ways, it feels like I'm playing the game on my own terms. Their insane designs, instead of just being a skin, match their insane gameplay, and some of the variety of melee weapons in games is insane. This is a spear that's also a huge revolver. This is a squid monster, and these are two motorcycles. All these weapons are completely crazy and have completely different play styles. None of them play like any other weapon in any other game. Because they have huge movesets and are difficult to master, you really want to spend time playing with them until you know them inside out, and once you've mastered them, you really start to feel a connection to each weapon. The Leviathan axe is so fucking sick. Yeah, everyone uses that weapon, but the moveset is insane. There's like 12 different attacks you can do at any one time, and you can stop hitting people with it and throw it and freeze a guy in place, and then run up and smash their frozen body with your fists. Holy fuck. You can probably play that game just by mashing R1 most of the time and getting away with it, but it gives you so much room to push yourself to your limit and see how crazy you can get with combos and moves and slicing people in half and calling your axe back and feeling the controller vibrate as it hits Kratos' hand. I could sit and throw that axe and call it back for days and never get bored. I love that thing. For me personally, uniqueness and variety are a big deal. Not to bang on about Bloodborne constantly, but the weapons in that game are what I want every video game weapon to be. In comparison to Dark Souls, which has hundreds of swords with the exact same moveset and different stats, Bloodborne's weapons are from a different universe. Even though there are only 26 weapons in the game, each one is fucking crazy, and they have almost entirely unique movesets. When you use a weapon a lot, and use its whole moveset, it becomes so much more than a tool for dealing damage. They're so fun and unique that they almost become like an instrument, and you are selecting the best attack for each situation to overcome each obstacle, whilst also looking like a total badass. The entire game could just be this one burial blade move, and I'd still play the shit out of it. Seriously, like, there is a hammer with a furnace inside, there's a sword which becomes Death's Scythe, there's a still living god arm, there's a wheel. Basically what I'm trying to say here is that in a good melee combat game, the weapons you learn to master can become part of your life in a way that for me personally, very little else in games can. In that the weapons in Bloodborne are so fucking cool, like, have you seen the Holy Moonlight? Thank you to all the game developers that push the boat out with melee weapons. Thank you to whoever came up with this idea, and thank you for watching. Peace.